How is going on, guys? It's excellent, awesome chess blunderer 24 here, and today I have a gameplay between Fabiano Caruana and Leinier Dominguez in the U.S. Chess Championship a couple of days ago, and yeah, so Fabiano Caruana starts off with the white pieces, and he starts off with d4. Leinier responds with knight f6, c4, e6. And Fabi doesn't feel like going into the knight c3, then bishop b4, going to the Nimzo Indian line. So he decides to play something different, prepare something different. Pawn to g3, the Catalan's opening, and d5 is played. Bishop g2. You can't really play d takes c4 because of queen a4 check, knight c6. And now queen takes, and you will regain your material back. so so after d5 he played bishop g2. I mean bishop e7, sorry. After bishop g2, knight f3. Now castles, d takes c4, queen a4. Now a6, expanding on the queen side while the queen captures on c4, and after queen takes c4 plays b5, preparing to fianchetto. Preparing to fianchetto the bishop, and also expand on. He already expanded on queen side, so a plays b5, queen c2, getting away from the pawn. Now bishop b7, fianchettoing it. Bishop, yes, yeah, just rivaling this bishop. Now bishop d2 is played, just developing it. Bishop e4 now, just attacking the queen, while also preparing to go to go to bishop g3, and also play c6, just solidify this pawn structure. Preparing to and now queen to c1, getting away from the bishop. Now c6 is played. Now a4, just attacking this pawn, and knight bd7, just developing a knight, and knight c3. Now bishop g6, and now knight h4, just questioning the bishop. Now you don't really Leinier isn't up to training bishop, so you play bishop to h5, and this is the position where in this position there's the known moves are a takes on b5 here, and also there's also rook to e1 in this position, and yeah, but the real thing is the thing that I want to ask y'all is can we capture on c6? Yeah, the thing is we can't white can't capture on c6, so because of b4. Now bishop takes on a8, free rook. Now b takes on c3. Bishop takes on c3, queen takes on a8, and now black has two pieces for a rook, and yeah, it's a decent compensation, and also yeah, white doesn't really gain anything from this attack, from grabbing material. So yeah, instead white play h3, and this is a new position. This position has never been reached before, and now knight to d5, just attacking this knight. Now a takes b5, and also, oh yeah, they also unleash a discover attack on the knight, threatening to win a pawn. So now the thing is, we can't capture this pawn because this knight, sorry, because of b takes c6. Now now both of your knight and bishop are getting attacked. So now, for example, you move your bishop away to f6, and now you gobble up the knight, and queen takes, and now yeah, white just doesn't. I mean, black just doesn't get anything. It doesn't ruin white's kingside pawn structure, and yeah. So instead, a takes b5 is played, and now rook takes on a8, queen takes on a8, e4, knight b4, bishop g5, just preventing bishops from taking the knight and ruin the kingside pawn structure here. So queen to d8, just protecting this bishop. Bishop takes, queen takes. Now, yeah, the threat against ruining the kingside pawn structure is gone. And now, queen to e3, just centralizing your queen here. Centralizing your queen, and yeah, rook to d8 is played. Rook to c1, since the queen created a spot in c1 for the rook. So, knight f8 is played. Just maneuvering the knight. Now bishop to f3, asking for a trade. Bishop takes on f3, knight takes on f3, and now knight to d7 again. King to g2, h6. Now if you try something like e5, well, it doesn't do anything. Like, if you want to try and like challenge the central pawn, you could just advance the pawn, and after trading, white has a really strong pass pawn, and yeah, black doesn't get anything really. So plays h6, black plays h6, h4, expanding on king side, knight b6. Here just b3, just taking away these squares. Knight back to d7, rook to d1, rook to a8, and now queen to e2. Just the rook to the reason why he played black played rook to a8 is probably for knight to a2 idea, hoping to get your knight traded off, and yeah, just hoping that rook could infiltrate. Now queen to e2, preventing that. Knight to f6, knight to e5, putting your knight on a really good square, and also threatening to take on c6. So this knight is just completely useless for the moment, except for tying the knight's completely stuck to defend c6 pawn. Knight to d7, knight to g4. Just no, he is black's asking for a trade, and white isn't interested. Now knight to f6 and knight to e3. Well, white isn't really interested in trading. Rook to a3, just attacking this pawn, and now well, you could go queen to b2 and play and attack the rook and prevent your pawn from being captured. But rook to a7, and yeah, you don't really get anything. So yeah, so instead white plays e5, offering this pawn, and now after knight d7, knight d7. Now you get a white plays knight to e4, just going for active play, giving up the pawn. Now the thing is, can you take the pawn? No, black can't take the pawn because of rook to a1. Just hoping to infiltrate the queen side to the last rank, the 8th rank, and after something like knight to b6, protecting the rook from getting to the 8th rank. Now knight to c5 will be played, and yeah, what will have just this strong knight attacking. What it will have a lot of active play from as a compensation for giving up a pawn. So yeah, can't really do that. Instead, you play knight to b6, protecting the a8 square, so that rook can capture this in the future. Now queen to h5, still giving up the pawn, and now black takes the pawn. And now knight g4, just a lot of pieces mobilizing itself to attack the king, and yeah, it's kind of dangerous for black here. Now knight 4, wait no sorry, knight 4 to d5, just preventing white from yeah, just keeping an eye on f6 square, preventing white from placing his knight there with like some sacrificial check. And now rook to a1, just planning to infiltrate and controlling the open file. Now rook to a3, here protected by the king, but this is not the best move here. The best move here would probably have been rook to d3, attacking the pawn, and yeah, it would have been equal, better for black, even black. So rook to a3 is played, and now white to move. What would you play here? This is a really nice sacrifice. Now I give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. In the game, Caruana took on h6 with his knight, but really, knight e takes on f6 was a better move, was a quicker win. So for example, if g takes f6, then knight takes f6, and now after something like king to g7, now you take the rook, queen, and if queen takes, then you take on f6, e takes on f6, king takes on f6, and now queen g5, and that's checkmate. Or for the position before, if knight takes on f6, then you have e takes on f6, g takes on f6, knight takes on f6, sacrificing the knight, queen takes for a rook, and now rook takes, and yeah, it's better. And if black tries something like rook takes on a1, knight e8, oh no, sorry, my bad. Sorry. For the knight takes an f6 line before, queen, pawn takes, knight takes, queen takes. And if the queen doesn't take, for example, something like king g7 is played, then you have queen e5. Just threatening discovery against the king. Sorry. Something's wrong with my arrow. And if black tries something like queen takes, then you'll just speed up the exchange after king takes, rook takes. And also, you can also go and if black tries something like rook takes a1, then it's mate in 3, knight to e8 check. If king to f8, then king to f8, then queen to h8 will be mate. And yeah, and if king to g6, then h5, king back to h7, and now this is mate. So instead, Caruana plays knight takes on h6, pawn takes, knight to f6 check, knight takes, and now e takes f6, and now well, you can't really take because your knight will be captured. So for example, if white plays queen to f8, keeping eyes on the h6 pawn and the a3 rook at the same time, then well, instead of rook takes on a3 and well, and then queen takes and then queen takes on h6 because queen could go back for mate to prevent mate. The better move would have been queen to g4, king moves to for example h7, takes, now it's just checkmate. So you don't really want that happening to you. So instead of taking, Leinier Dominguez found a really smart way to somehow lose the exchange, but it's just favorable for him after the exchange. So rook takes on g3, f takes on g3, queen takes on f6, queen to g4, check, king to h8, rook a6, queen d8, keeping an eye on the knight. Now rook to a7, just attacking the f7 pawn. Queen to f8, queen to f3, just threatening to take, and also double attack against the c6 pawn. Now king to g8, queen takes on c6, queen to d8, king to h2, and this is a mistake move. Like, this move is invisible to both players. Like, both players didn't see it when they play it. So white to move, what would you play? Pause the video if you want to take a long think. So the move to play here is queen to f3, and it threatens to take on f7. And if queen to f8 is played, for example, then queen to b7, and it's just it threatened to take on f7 and the knight. And last but not least, if you play something like knight to d5, then you have rook to a8, just winning the queen. So yeah. So you missed the move, and it's just you played king to h2. Just it's probably the greatest blunder. He would have won the spot instead of yeah. You'll see what happened in the game. Queen to f6, queen to e4, just preventing check. I mean, if you try and capture, then yeah, you'll just get perpetual. You either get perpetual, or if you go, wait, no, sorry, go to queen to f1, or if you try and go to g4, then you'll just face mate in 1 and checkmate. So you can't really take on the knight here. So play king, queen to e4, queen to f2 check, king to h3, queen to f1, queen to g2, queen to f5, g4, d. Oops, sorry guys. Queen to d3 check, queen to g3, queen takes on d4. Now, yeah, that horrific blunder made him have to made him give up his another pawn, second pawn, and yeah, now g5, just marching towards the king, marching his pawn, and like we prefer to keep the position close, so h5, now g6, now yeah, knight to d7 is played here. It's a pretty smart defensive move, considering when everything is just eyeing down on the king. Everything's just, yeah, just preparing to attack the king, everything. And it's a nice defensive move here. So rook to a8 check, king to g7, g takes f7 check, king takes f7, queen g8 check, king to e7, rook to e8 check. Oh yeah, you can't really go to play queen to f8 mate, because knight's gonna take. So yeah, rook check, king to d6, rook takes on e6, king to c5. It's just a miracle that black survived, and yeah, you'll see what happened in the game. Like, it's just truly a miracle. Queen to g5 check, king to b4, queen takes on h5, knight c5, rook to e7, knight d3, queen to f3, and now preparing to push the pawn. Oops, my arrow's broken. And yeah, king to c3, h5, b4. Now black starts pushing his pawn h6, b3, h7, b2, and now rook to b7 played here, because you can't really queen here because of, yeah, the queen's just gonna take it. Now king to d2, just trying to get to c1, just to queen this pawn. Queen g2 check, king to c1, rook to ec7, king to b1, queen to h1, check, knight to c1, and in this position, what should you play? I'll give you time to think. 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Well, I wouldn't expect you to spot this brilliant move, but yeah, brilliant endgame move. So if you guessed it, then congratulations, you are a really smart player. The move is rook to f7. So rook to f7 is meant for some. Well, what's the purpose of rook to f7 is to bring the queen to f3 next move, and after that to prevent checks, and then after this you're meant to bring your rook to f8 and queen the pawn. And yeah, it's such a nice move, but Fabiano obviously missed it. It's just hard to find. So Fabiano plays queen to a8, just taking control of the a file, and also prevent and taking control of the h8 square. And it's his mistake now. Yeah, it's now perpetual queen e3, king to g4, queen to e6, king to f3, check, queen to e2 check, king to g3, queen to e5 check, king to h3, and you're not gonna take the rook because white's gonna queen his pawn after you take. Queen to h5, king to g2, queen to e2, king to h1, queen to e5, h5, king to g1, queen to d1, king to h2, queen to h5, king to g3, queen to e5, king to g4, queen to e6, king to h5, queen to f5, king to h4, queen to f4, king to h5, queen to f5, and king to h1, queen to f4. Check, and in this position it's a threefold repetition, and it's just a draw now. So yeah, that is all, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's awesome chess blunder here, and see ya.